Ever split a $15 burrito into 4 payments? You're not alone. Someone in America is financing body wash, sneakers, even concert tickets, because by now, pay later makes it feel guilt-free. But here's the trick: it's not free. It's a trap. A carefully engineered system to make you feel like you're in control, while quietly pulling you deeper into debt. And the scariest part? It works. Every click, just $25 today, is rewiring how you think about money. Let's decode the system. You don't just owe thousands. You owe silence. Silence about what it really costs to survive in America. As of 2024, U.S. consumer debt, excluding mortgages, just passed $5 trillion. That's enough to buy every single NFL, NBA, and MLB team, not once, but 10 times. And yet, most people scroll past that headline like it's just another stat. Why? Because the system has trained you not to feel alarmed, but to feel normal. Debt is no longer a warning sign. It's the background music of your life. You finance brunch. You split groceries. You Afterpay sneakers. You Klarna a hotel stay. And if you're doing it, you're not failing, you're functioning exactly as planned. Because here's the secret. Debt isn't a bug in the system. Debt is the system. Credit cards. Store financing. Buy now, pay later. They're not here to help you manage cash flow. They're here to monetize your short-term relief. And they're damn good at it. Psychologists call it the pain of paying, the mental discomfort when money leaves your hands. So what did companies do? They hacked that pain. They don't charge $300. They ask for just $75 today. They didn't stop you from spending. They just stopped you from feeling it. Then there's temporal discounting. Your brain values now more than later. So when Klarna says, pay in 4, your brain says, future me's problem. But future you isn't the only one affected. It's your peace of mind. Your ability to save. Your freedom to say no. And this gets even darker when you layer on social media. You're not just fighting math. You're fighting a lifestyle war. You're watching influencers live their best life on a credit timeline they don't show. Your willpower is not broken. Your environment is weaponized. You were taught to budget. They studied your dopamine response. And when you ask yourself, why can't I get ahead? The real answer is brutal. You're not living above your means. You're living inside someone else's profit model. Let's crack that model wide open. What if you could buy anything you want without really paying for it? That's the seduction of buy now, pay later. It doesn't feel like debt. It feels like a shortcut. And for a generation raised on quick fixes and side hustles, that's more than tempting, it's irresistible. Need a $300 suitcase for your weekend in Miami? $75 today. You don't even blink. Your package arrives. You feel smart, efficient, until the payments keep coming, long after the vacation glow fades. BNPL isn't a tool. It's a trap wrapped in millennial pink. Programs like Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, and Zip have become default checkout options for every lifestyle brand that knows exactly how broke you are and how badly you want to pretend you're not. And let's be honest, BNPL feels like survival. In a country where 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, median rent now eats 40% of young people's income, and student debt delays everything from marriage to homeownership. BNPL doesn't look like a scam. It looks like mercy. But here's the catch. When you split the payment, you don't just split the bill. You split your awareness, your accountability, your control. And the worst part, you start believing it's normal. Because no credit check equals no harm, right? Wrong. It's by design. The less you question, the more you click. It doesn't just reshape your habits. It rewires your brain. You stop asking, can I afford this? You start asking, how many payments is it? That's not budgeting. That's behavioral conditioning. BNPL doesn't just change your wallet. It changes your wiring. And this isn't innovation. It's evolution in reverse. Let's trace its origin. You didn't discover buy now, pay later. It discovered you. This idea, breaking down payments to soften the blow, isn't new. Your grandparents called it layaway. They picked out a couch, made small payments, and only got it after the final dime was paid. They waited. They saved. You click. What changed? Speed, psychology, and surveillance. Credit cards killed layaway by offering instant gratification with interest. BNPL took it further. Instant gratification without interest. At least, that's what they want you to believe. BNPL is not innovation. It's resurrection, revived and redesigned to match your brain's worst habits. Impulse, avoidance, fantasy. In 2019, these services processed $2 billion in purchases. By 2021, it jumped to $24 billion. And by 2025, it's projected to top $120 billion. That kind of growth doesn't happen. It's manufactured. Tech companies poured millions into studying how to make your wallet disconnect from your brain. Softer buttons, calmer colors, casual copywriting. 4 easy payments that feel like a hug, not a hook. It's not a payment plan. It's a permission slip for denial. And you're not alone. BNPL has infiltrated Nike, Ulta, Target, even DoorDash. You can now finance your lunch. But don't mistake this for progress. This is the new face of an old machine, only faster, friendlier, and far more dangerous. You're not managing money. You're being managed. Every click you make feeds the algorithm that learns your soft spots, then sells that data to someone else who profits from you flinching at full price. This isn't finance. It's psychological warfare, coded in pink. And you're not the customer anymore. You're the product. If you think by now, pay later is safer than a credit card, you've already taken the bait. It looks easier. No scary APR. No hard inquiries. No guilt. Just 4 cute little payments. It's finance for people who don't like debt. But don't get it twisted, BNPL is debt. Just rebranded to feel soft. Let's break it down. Credit cards. Require approval. Report to credit bureaus. Impact your credit score. Charge brutal interest. Offer protections, rewards, and regulation. BNPL. No approval needed. Often invisible to lenders. Doesn't build credit. Charges late fees disguised as friendly nudges. Almost zero protections. So why does BNPL feel better? Because it removes friction. No applications. No awkward decline. No real math. Just click, buy, smile. You're not spending money. You're pressing buttons. You're not signing up for debt. You're saying yes to later. And later adds up fast. People use BNPL for brunch, jeans, concerts, even DoorDash. They're not irresponsible. They're just doing what the system designed them to do. Choose feelings over facts. Credit cards are fire. Everyone warns you not to get burned. BNPL is a scented candle in a nice glass jar. But fire is still fire. And here's the killer. BNPL doesn't want you to fail. It wants you to float, just enough to keep clicking. Because the longer you stay in the loop, the more predictable you become. And predictable behavior equals profitable behavior. So don't ask, which one is better? Ask instead, who benefits if I believe this isn't debt? The answer isn't you. Next, let's pull back the curtain and see how they profit, even when you think you're playing it smart. You paid on time, so how did they still win? Because with buy now, pay later, profit doesn't depend on your failure. It just depends on you showing up. 1. Merchant fees. When you use Klarna or Affirm, the store pays 4 to 6% in fees, twice as much as credit card processors. Why? Because BNPL makes you buy more, faster, with less guilt. You thought you were the customer, but you're the bait. 2. Late fees. BNPL advertises 0 interest. But 1 in 3 users misses at least one payment. Late fees can hit $25, or 25% of what you bought. It's not a penalty. It's part of the menu. 3. Data harvesting. They track every tap, browse, hesitation, and click. That data gets sold to advertisers who now know exactly when you're vulnerable. Your cravings are currency. Not for you, for them. 4. Debt packaging. Even when you pay on time, BNPL companies bundle your repayments into asset-backed securities, then sell them to hedge funds and institutional investors. It's financial alchemy. Turn human behavior into tradable debt. You're not in debt. You are the debt. So even if you never miss a payment, you're part of a system that feeds on your habits, your psychology, your future spending. You're not a shopper. You're a revenue stream, wrapped in hope. Next, let's break down the psychological tricks they use at checkout to make sure you keep clicking Pay Later. You thought you were checking out, but the checkout was checking you. Every time you reach that final screen, the one with your shipping address and total, there's something else happening behind the scenes. You're not just buying a product. You're being studied, tested, nudged, programmed. Because modern checkout pages are not just about payments. They're engineered environments, built by behavioral economists, designers, and conversion strategists, whose job is not to make it easy for you. It's to make it automatic. Trick number 1. Kill the pain of paying. When you pay $300 upfront, your brain hurts. It registers loss. But when the screen says, pay just $75 today, pain gone. That's not a discount. That's a neural trick. It's called the pain of paying, and companies have spent millions learning how to numb it, without lowering the price. Trick number 2. Delay equals disarm. There's a name for this, too. Temporal discounting. We value today more than tomorrow. So when you see, pay later, your brain translates it as, worry never. You don't have to face the cost, just the dopamine hit of owning it now. Trick number 3. Fake urgency. Only 2 left in stock. Offer expires in 3 hours. Complete your purchase before the cart resets. It's artificial pressure, designed to short-circuit your rational brain. Suddenly, waiting feels dangerous. Clicking feels safe. Trick number 4. Design that sells. The Pay Later button? It's bigger, brighter, often pre-selected. It draws your eye with color psychology and shape familiarity. You think it's your choice. It's not. It's their choreography. And here's the kicker. All of this happens in under 12 seconds. Your brain thinks it's in control. But really, it's in reaction mode. You're not making a financial decision. You're responding to a stimulus, designed to override logic with emotion. So when you tell yourself, I made a smart purchase, ask yourself instead, did I choose that, or was I guided there? Let's talk about where this path leads when we finance the wrong things, over and over again. You didn't plan to go broke. You just wanted a burrito. And that's how it begins. You're hungry. It's Friday. DoorDash offers, pay in 4 with Klarna. You laugh. $3.75 today? Why not? You already used Affirm for those concert tickets. Afterpay for that hoodie. Zip for groceries. You're not overspending. You're just spreading it out. Until the calendar says, payment due, Tuesday. Payment due, Thursday. Payment due, Saturday. Payment due, Sunday. And suddenly, your budget becomes a collection of countdowns. This is loan stacking, and it's the silent crisis no one posts about. In 2022, 63% of BNPL users had multiple active loans. 70% were already juggling credit card debt. And many didn't even realize they were in trouble. Because no one sends a warning. No one flags it. You don't get a siren. You just get a pile of quiet, friendly-looking emails, asking nicely for your soul. You don't feel poor. You feel fine. Until you're holding your breath at checkout. Until you start avoiding your banking app. Until you stop opening emails with payment reminder in the subject line. You're not behind on bills. You're behind on breathing. And when it finally crashes, it's never a house. Never a car. It's a pair of sneakers. A burrito. A weekend you forgot. The danger of BNPL isn't recklessness. It's invisibility. You didn't make one big mistake. You made 20 tiny ones, each one easy, each one later. And now it's not just money you've lost. It's clarity, stability, peace. This isn't budgeting. This is financial anesthesia until you wake up in a panic. So let's talk about how to stop the spiral before it pulls you under. You don't need a better budget. You need to break the spell. Because this isn't just spending. It's psychological conditioning, disguised as convenience. By now, pay later doesn't just take your money. It rewires your habits. It hijacks your future. And it sells you comfort, while quietly stealing control. But here's the truth. If you can't pay for it now, you're not buying it. You're renting regret. So stop asking if the payment plan works for your lifestyle. Ask if the lifestyle works for your bank account. Uninstall the apps. Turn off the checkout autopilot. Run your money on what's real, even if it's less exciting. Because peace of mind is a flex. And clarity is underrated. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being free.